I am Dan DeRocha, and this is Baker's Insight. We've done a variety of different products on our little show here, but we've kind of been avoiding one in particular, and it's maybe not because it's not a favorite, you know, not that it's overly difficult to make. It's just that there are so many different ways, and even in some places like France, for example, there are rules on what you can call a baguette. So because of that, and because there's so many different methods and methodologies, although there's only 4 basic ingredients,
true.
We've kind of maybe like avoided it a little bit. But I think today we said, you know what, let's jump in the deep end. Let's do what we can.
Right. In making the baguette, we're going to do a very simple way. A lot of ways of doing it, or different poolishes, etc. We're going to do the basic ingredients of flour, water, salt, and yeast. And we're going to use a spiral mixer because that helps develop the dough better. When it's done, we'll be checking for a window. We're going to take a little piece of dough and we're going to stretch it out so it's very thin without breaking, and you'll be able to almost see through it, so it's so thin.
So dough's out of the mixer now. What's the proofing process?
Our method is we're going to let it sit for 45 minutes, let it rise a little bit, let the yeast activate. Then we're going to flip it, let it sit for another half hour. That'll give it a little extra strength.
We have our large mass of dough here. Next step.
Next step, in a small bakery, what you're going to do is you're going to throw your dough on the table, put it out some flour, you're going to have your balance scale, and you're going to weigh it out. Maybe 1 pound, 1 pound, 2 ounces, you know, depending on what you want to do.
Very manual process, scaling, and then shaping by hand.
Shaping by hand, you have to press on a table, and you have to tap it out and roll it.
We've exhausted the manual process. Maybe the all hands on deck approach is maybe becoming too laborious. What would be the next transition?
When we have your bulk mix and you're going to the next step from hand dividing, you're going to use a hydraulic divider. You're going to cut your dough out of the bowl into measured out pieces that would equal, for example, a 1 pound baguette. You're going to put 20 pounds in a basket and let that rest. From there, you would take it, you'd put it in the hydraulic divider, which will cut it to evenly 20 pieces. From there, you would let the dough rest for about 15 minutes to let the glutens relax. And then what you're going to do is you're going to use a French baguette molder, where you're just going to put it in top and actually go inside and come out the bottom all done. And you just have to finish it off a little bit. With a machine like that, one person can do 25 or so pieces per minute.
You're putting your feet into the wholesale world of production. Where would you go from there?
At that point, you'd need a bigger system, a lot of less hands-on due to labor being your biggest cost. What we have is a full bread system from Cyberpan. It's a piston divider which automatically gets fed into an intermediate proofer, which is built on how long in time it needs to relax. From there, it will go into an automatic molder, which will drop in there automatically, and you take it off at the end. With a machine like this, you can do 2,200 pieces an hour with 2 people.
So regardless of which type of machinery or what process you've used, we have now a shaped baguette. What do you do next?
What I like to do is I like to shape it. I like to put it in a retarder, which is a cold box, overnight for about 8 to 12 hours, then bring it out. With retarding, basically to me, I'm getting more character in there as far as the flavor and a bigger hole pocket of the product itself.
Baguettes usually have like a cut in them.
All bread should have a cut in them except for a hamburger bun or a hot dog bun, but any baguettes or your big loaves and stuff. Scoring is an art. Basically, by cutting the dough, what you're doing is when the bread goes into the oven, you're directing the flow of which way it wants to go. If I put all 6 pieces of a baguette in there without scoring it, it's going to blow out different directions due to the weakest point.
So we got here finished baguettes out of the oven, nice and warm, beautiful looking. We've shown you a variety of different ways of making them. Manual process, some automation, more automation. I was learning how to shape. And it takes, I'm sure, a lot more practice to get good.
Well, that's the whole thing. If you're training people that come into the shop, which is sometimes like a revolving door, you know, if you want to have consistency, the same baguette. So if you have 6 different people shaping and you have to teach someone new, it's just a hassle. So the next step up with a little machinery helps out. But with baguettes, there's all kinds of critiques you can do.
You have your crust,
Your cut, the crumb, how thick it is, the holes inside the interior. We got a lot of this because we retarded overnight, so it had a longer time to age and get a lot of character to it. Definitely helps out with the flavor.
I hope you guys enjoyed our video today. For the ingredients used, the mixing and baking instructions, please visit ericarecord.com. Thank you.
Enjoy.
Where's the butter?